When did you last see a police officer walking down your street? In the UK, many people feel the familiar face of a Bobby on the beat has largely disappeared. Add to that distrust in the police. Some people think there's two-tier policing where others are treated differently to them, and that officers don't properly investigate low-level crime. I'm here in the West Midlands today because they're trying to change that perception around. They're announcing 309 new police officers for neighbourhood policing and PCSOs. But when you look at the figures, it needs a bit more unpacking. For this story, we're in Walsall, a town where people often complain about feeling forgotten and left behind. Took me about an hour to get there from home, but it was conveniently much closer for cameraman Jack, who only lives about 15 minutes away. The first thing we did when we got there was speak to PC Anita Patel. She's a neighbourhood police officer and is about to see her team get much bigger. Tell me how long you've been involved in neighbourhood policing and what you get out of it, what you enjoy about it.
Okay, so I've been the neighbourhood officer since 2018 and I cover the town centre. I like it because I can interact with people, I can see where the crime's being committed and try and action and deal with those kind of matters. We arrest a number of shoplifters, we look at serious youth violence and drug dealing as well.
And you must feel quite proud to be keeping the place safe.
I do, yes. I mean, just being visible in the town makes me happy. People have know me so well now and they know where to contact me as well.
For you though, obviously you're going to be getting more resource and more people. How does that feel? That must be really good.
I mean, yes, as a designated neighbourhood officer, it'd be nice to see more officers in the town or, as neighbourhood officers, just to be high, play high visitor patrols, tackle crime and, just give reassurance to the community.
So, more police officers coming to the West Midlands. Sounds great, doesn't it? But when you drill down into the statistics, it isn't all as it first seems. Now, let me explain. They announced 309 brand new neighbourhood police officers. Now, of that 309, 150 are genuinely brand new police officers, in part funded by increases from the Home Office. 20 are also brand new PCSOs or Police Community Support Officers. But the remaining 139 are officers redeployed from elsewhere within the force. Now, there'll still be additional officers for neighbourhood teams, but moving them raises an obvious question. What about the gaps they're leaving behind? Waiting nearby was Chief Inspector Lee Wigan. He heads up neighbourhood policing in Walsall and, unsurprisingly, was very happy and eager to get those extra officers out on the beat. What's it going to mean to you to have more neighbourhood police officers?
So neighbourhood policing is a massive commitment from West Midlands Police, and we make that promise to the community. We don't make it lightly. The increase in resources to local policing will be huge for us. It will enable us to get into some more problem solving, to generate greater visibility, to be able to interact with the general public and discuss and deal with some of the concerns that they are presenting to us as a community.
There is a lot of distrust in the police at the moment. Some people think there's two-tier policing where other people are treated differently to them and that officers don't investigate low-level crime. How will this change that?
In terms of two-tier policing, neighbourhood policing is at the heart of making sure that we reassure the community that actually there isn't that two-tier policing. No doubt that we will have to apply policing in a different style and a different tone dependent on the community, dependent on the area, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's two-tier policing. No two situations are ever created the same, and having local officers on hand who understand their community, know their community well, are able to police them effectively. That increase in neighbourhood policing will give us a greater ability to do that. How
are you going to ensure that these extra officers are actually out on the streets and not just in a back office somewhere doing paperwork?
I spoke to some of my officers. I'm sure they would say that they deal with too much paperwork from time to time. But we have on-hand support structures within our organisation to support with that paperwork, to support with that efforts. It's our job as leaders to make sure that that strain isn't there too much for the officers and that we're able to increase that visibility where necessary.
Brill, happy? So the interview with Chief Inspector Wigan was done, then it was time to speak to the man holding the purse strings. The man in the suit there is Simon Foster, the Police and Crime Commissioner for the West Midlands. Now, he doesn't actually control the force's day-to-day operations, but as an elected politician, he sets its priorities and oversees how it's funded. Now, I've met Simon many times over the years, and we've had many conversations about the shortage of police officers in the West Midlands. Since 2010, officer numbers have fallen. They've started to tick up again. At one point, the West Midlands was down about 1,000 police officers compared to the Conservatives' austerity measures introduced in 2010. This move to introduce 309 extra police officers still leaves the force short of around 520 officers overall.
It's always a challenge to secure resources for the West Midlands. We are shortchanged and ripped off in terms of police resources, whether that's police officers or police funding. So absolutely, I am committed to constant and unremitting action to campaign for and secure additional resources for West Midlands Police. That's important because the West Midlands public expect me to fight on their behalf to secure those resources, and in order to prevent and tackle crime, promote community safety, and to keep people and families and businesses and local communities safe and secure, it's essential we secure those resources and allocate those officers into neighbourhood policing.
You've had to fight to get these extra officers, yet some neighbouring forces have got more officers than ever before.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there are a number of forces around the country. For example, Norfolk, Suffolk, Kent, Surrey, Sussex, Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire, Thames Valley, Warwickshire, Northamptonshire, that all have more officers now than they've ever had in their force history. Well, with all due respect to those forces, of course, the people in those forces are entitled to effective and efficient policing. But with all due respect, they do not carry the same level of threat, risk, demand, need and vulnerability that we do in the West Midlands.
Now, Simon said something really interesting there. He said the West Midlands was being shortchanged and ripped off, and that pricked up my ears because as a responsible journalist, you have to put accusations like that to whoever is being accused, and in this case, it's the Home Office. In response, they told me the West Midlands has seen record funding for policing this year, more than £18 billion, an increase, they say, of 4%, working out at an extra £30 million. Now, that wraps up our time in Walsall, but we weren't finished there. Jack and I wanted to see what the shortage of neighbourhood policing means for another community in the Midlands. After a mild panic that Jack had received a parking ticket, we were on our way.
We are 10 minutes late. Well, I am. Nah, I'm all right.
You're all right.
Ka-ching.
We arrived at Soho Road in Birmingham to speak to shopkeeper Manjit Singh, who says low-level crime has become routine. He told us police often don't respond, leaving him to confront suspected shoplifters himself.
There is theft happening, there is people stealing things. When they do come in stores, try and steal something, I can't keep up with trying to chase them, run after them.
So you've tried to chase them before?
Oh, I've tried to chase them, and I've actually injured myself trying to chase them. It's happened, people take things from outside here, they pick up things, walk away from them, and it's too late, I can't think about it. I've just got it on CCTV.
And you just have to sort of accept it?
Accept it as it, this is daily life. Accept it as it is.
And the police don't really do much if you did tell them?
No, they wouldn't do, unless it's a murder case or a serious stabbing case, they would come down.
So how do you feel about having these 300 extra neighbourhood
Even if they just patrol the area, it gives a reassurance that something is happening. It makes a big difference.
Do you feel like you're properly supported by the police at the moment?
Not really, no. Not really. I don't think so.
So there are genuinely more police officers coming to the West Midlands, and that can only be a good thing. And they are prioritising neighbourhood policing, an area people often complain needs serious investment. But I think the real test will be not how it's perceived from a press announcement in Walsall, but how it's perceived on the streets. Will people start to see an increase in bobbies on the beat? Will they start to trust the police more? And can they trust the police will genuinely be there when they need them? Thanks for watching.